page 49. We'll recite this 3 times. Continuing 57, prayers to lamas of the lineage, 5-7. Samantabhadra, Bhadra Sattva, Pramanabhadra, Sri Singha, Pema Kara, the 25 king and subjects, So, Zur, Nu, Nya, and the 100 Tirtans and others, the lamas of the Kama and Terma lineages, to you I pray. Inseparable from origin, Padmasambhava, Supreme Lord of the hundreds of Buddha families, to you, Sasun Lingpa, the supreme object of refuge, I pray to grant me the immortal blessings of the Vidyadhara state, so that I may remain inseparable from you. In the past, you were the Vidyadhara, Nuden Dorje Tsal. In the future, you will be the Buddha Mopataye. Now you are the regent of Padmasambhava, the actual presence of Drukben Latsawa. Jigral Yeshe Dorje, to you I pray. Happy with little, content and rich in jewels of the 3 trainings, with loving compassion, seeing all beings as parents. Through threefold realization, you made 3 doors, 3 Bhadras. Virtuous monk, Pema Sultram, to you I pray. The supreme tradition of the glorious Buddha Padmasambhava, which is the essential, extraordinary view and doctrine of the early translation school, you keep alive and spread by the light of wisdom. Lord of Dharma, great Khenpo, I pray at your lotus feet. In the palace of the ultimate Dharmadhatu, the essence of all the Buddhas of the 3 times, the one who shows clearly the Dharmakaya of my own mind, we pray to the Honorable Root Guru, glorious Root Teacher, precious one, dwelling on the lotus seat on the crown of my head. Hold me with your great kindness, and bestow the accomplishments of body, speech, and mind. We'll continue 61 with this Vajrasattva mantra. The Buddha Vajrasattva will recite this long mantra 3 times. Homage to the Tathagata, glorious Vajrasattva. Om Bedra Sava Samaya Manu Palaya Bedra Sava Tinupa Tijadinu Me Pawa Siddhu Kayo Me Pawa Siddhu Jayo Me Pawa Anuratu Me Pawa Sawa Siddhi Me Prai Sawa Kama Sitsame Siddham Cheyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Mame Menza Bindri Bawa Maha Samaya Sato Aum Bendra Saba Samaya Palaya Bendra Saba Tenupa Tishu Dinu Me Pawa Sudu Gayo Me Pawa Subu Jayo Me Pawa Anuratu Me Pawa Sawa Siddhi Me Prayata Sawa Kama Sisame Siddham Jayam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benza Mame Menza Bindri Bawa Maha Samaya Sadhu Aum Bena Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Dinu Pa Tishu Dinu Me Pawa Siddhu Gayo Me Pawa Jayo Me Pawa Anuratu Me Pawa Sawa Siddhi Me Prayata Sawa Kama Sitsame Siddham Cheyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benza Mame Munza Bindri Bawa Maha Samaya Sato Aum Bendra Sapa Hong Om Bendra Sapa Hong Om Bendra Sapa Hong Om Bendra Sapa Hong Mena Zamahong, 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 Mena Zamahong. Mena Zamahong, 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 Om Bendo Sapa Gewa Di Nadu Dang Do Jezem Badu Junin Do Wanji Shamalupa Isalagopa Sho. Continuing 62 and 63, offering mandala, requesting turn the wheel of Dharma. So here we're really connecting to the true nature of love, compassion, and wisdom, that nature in ourselves, that nature in every single being. And like all the connections we have, these connections of love, compassion, and wisdom, Buddhism calls this the Dharma. So we're just kind of really connecting to this nature of ourselves, others, and all of our experience actually. So 62. The earth anointed with perfumed water and strewn with flowers, Mount Meru and the 4 continents anointed with sun and moon, by offering them visualized as a Buddha field, may all beings enjoy the pure land. Idam Guru Ratnam Mandala Kamnirya Tayami. According to the wishes of beings and their capacities for the high and low, common and uncommon vehicles, please turn the wheel of Dharma. Please turn the wheel of Dharma. Please be Dharma. We all can be Dharma. Love, compassion, wisdom. That's what we're doing here. Please be a wheel of Dharma turning. Please be natural. Please relax. I say that to myself.
Please relax. Be love, be compassion, be wisdom. Enjoy that. Have confidence in that. When it's not happening, just be honest about that and try to kind of correct, reconnect. Love, compassion, and wisdom. See that in each other. The goodness. See the goodness in ourselves. In Buddhism, we call this bodhicitta. Wisdom and compassion united. Bodhicitta on. Bodhicitta on. Love and compassion and wisdom on. It really is just so many ways to say the same thing. Be natural. Be natural. And so because I have the habit of being so unnatural, not trusting love, not trusting compassion, not trusting wisdom, intelligence, cause, condition, and effect, then I need this whole big elaborate path. All these, warming up to just being nice. Warming up to just relaxing and being free. And like the Buddha was so kind, the gracious teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, Guru Rinpoche, Tara, all these Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they fully awakened to love and compassion and wisdom, the nature of themselves, their minds, of all experience. And that's all they're doing is like just naturally, responsively, spontaneously outreaching and connecting with all these other beings and just being like, you're amazing. You are love, you are compassion, you are wisdom, you have everything you need. Just see that. And then so kindly, we'd kind of refuse to see that, much more convinced that I'm bad and this is all bad. And that kind of samsara mind, right? And the cycling of always focusing on what's wrong, what's missing, what's off, what's not quite right, what hurt. And then that's a mode of being, a way of being. And I can really relate to that. It's called Bardo of life. This wandering between I'm stressed out and trying to be less stressed out. Hurting in all these ways, serious ways, light ways, silly ways, bored ways, really tragic ways. But it all is coming back to love, compassion, and wisdom. It's just every Dharma teaching you're ever going to hear is going to come to love, compassion, and wisdom. That's bedrock. It's the bedrock of foundational Buddhism. It's the bedrock of Sutra Mahayana, Bodhisattvayana. Like Zen, it's the bedrock of Tantra Mahayana or Vajrayana. It's the bedrock of Dzogchen and Mahamudra and all these highest teachings. The highest teachings are just saying, be love, compassion, and wisdom now. And then if we're not confident in that, trusting in that, they say, okay, I know you don't really believe it. So maybe relax, do this, have a little tea, put the lighting, set the mood, create the atmosphere. Now just relax. Be love, be compassion, and wisdom. Turn it on. If it's really hard, because we're like super habituated, then it's like, okay, there's suffering and what's causing it, and there's Eightfold Noble Path. There's all these things to do to just align naturalness, get everything harmonized. Then we can just finally be the Dharma. Be with the Dharma, have the wheel of Dharma turn. So this is about natural systems, being natural. And so we've kind of explored this a little bit over a couple days or so here in the context of Bardos, or kind of intermediate states, these in-between zones where we're kind of not fully in this side or fully in that side. Everything's kind of shifting, liminal, ever moving, phase shifting. It's kind of, things are moving and we're trying to hold them in place so they can just be reliable and we can just finally relax. Just get it all the way I want it, and then I'll relax. And so that's comes samsara mode, because it won't all ever freeze in place like that. That's like a wish that will never be fulfilled, because change keeps happening. And so when we're in that mind of wanting to fixate, hold, grasp, freeze frame, make it all stop, be the way I want it, that's called samsara. And then when we lighten that up and we're more attentive to what is happening, how is it moving, inside, outside, in between, then all of a sudden the Bardo stops. We're not in the Bardo. We're in our true nature of love, compassion, and wisdom. So these are, I've kind of been going around this point in a lot of ways for a couple days, and these Bardo teachings are really extensive. Due to the really kindness of all these masters who've held this living lineage. And two of the amazing masters. A lot of us had the fortune to meet is Venerable Khenchen, Palden, Sherab Rinpoche, Venerable Khenpo Tsewang Dongyal Rinpoche, these root teachers, the directors, founders of Padmasambhava Buddhist Center, the living guides of, this living Nyingma tradition. This ancient school tradition goes all the way back to Guru Rinpoche and the Buddha Shakyamuni. Like these full embodiments of love, compassion, and wisdom. It's amazing, extraordinary, these such beings. So this morning we're going to do a little more practice. In the next session, in the afternoon, after we have this kind of relaxed lunchtime for people who want, the next session will be just like pithy little bullet points. Like Dharma things that have been helpful for me that I think are just like more tweets, like just tweet it. I can talk a lot and kind of elaborate a bunch. We have a little window this afternoon, just like bing, 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 bing. And then maybe one of them will strike you and light a nice Dharma fire or something. And then after that, then we'll do another meditation session in here this evening, like towards the evening, kind of with a feast offering. Again, it's pretty short. It'll only be an hour and 15 minutes long. We're doing condensed versions. But for this morning, it'll be more practicing. And so like in this session, and so to kind of tee it up, set the atmosphere, get ready. Yay. I know it's coming, so hello. Yeah. Get to talk a little bit about our teachers. So it's very well known that the Buddha said of all the conceptions we can have, impermanence is the best. Like all the footprints of the animals, the elephant's footprint is the biggest. Of all the ideas we can have, the conceptions we can have, like contemplating impermanence is the best one. It brings it right to the truth of stuff real fast. We can talk about that as death, dying, changing, loss, growing, impermanence. So, 2010. Years go by, 15 years ago, right? So at that time, Ken Rinpoche, our teacher, the older teacher, he was really ill. It was kind of have some stories here for a little bit. It was like kind of winter at Padma Samye Ling, upstate New York, and things like his health wasn't good, but it kind of came on strong, and like he had to get like Lama Lorraine and Lama Laya were at PSL, at Rinpoche's house, and they're like, okay, we need to go to the hospital now. And so Ken Rinpoche got in the car, Lama Lorraine Lama Laya was driving, and Lama Lorraine was there. Those three, they went to the hospital, and Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche needed to stay at PSL, the retreat center, and kind of oversee things and be there. So he couldn't go too, but so they left, and it was really dramatic. Like it was unclear what was going to happen. And so Khenpo Rinpoche is at PSL, and his dear brother and teacher, main teacher, is going to the hospital. It's like really severe. And then Rinpoche said, get this book. I happen to be there with him at his house. Get this book, Union of Dzogchen and Mahamudra, by Karma Chagme, Raga Ase. Union of Dzogchen and Mahamudra. This book has 6 songs, I think, 6 or 7 songs, or 8 songs. There's chapters or songs. And he said, Drakpa, open this one. Go to this one. The song, the whole chapter was just impermanence. And it was so odd. Just sat at the table in their house, Khenpo Rinpoche and me, and he's like, read it. And he was translating and reading. He just wanted to read through the whole chapter on how everything is impermanent. In other words, it's very striking. Of all conceptions we can have, impermanence and reflecting on impermanence is the best. Really struck me. So that's story. Ken Rinpoche's health got amazingly better. And it got to be in like May. And so springtime, Padma Samye Ling. And like it was a big project, a big dream of Rinpoche's to have these stupas around the temple there for so long. They like handcrafted them and like with all these very specific designs in Indonesia. And it was like, if you've ever worked with stupas at all, it's very, very precise. Like it really has to be exact in all these ways. So it took years to get these stupas. And in May, like all in like kind of, they got shipped from Indonesia and boats and brought to PSL and kind of put around in big crates. And they were actually being kind of like, because it was like all volcanic rock, they were crated in these separate pieces. And each stupa had to be kind of like assembled, kind of like a 3D puzzle to like build a stupa and have all the relics to put inside of it and seal it and all in like a day. Like there were no stupas in the morning, and by the end of the evening, like crane one spot at a time for 8 stupas, all these 8-foot tall stupas were like assembled and built and installed and Rinpoche's consecrated, and by the end of the day, there's like 8 stupas around the temple. And it was just like, at the end of the day, Khenchen Rinpoche's there, Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche's there, everyone who was there on site, who happened to be around, we were all sitting in one big circle in front of the temple. And it was like sunset, and it was so just surreal, like magical display, dream. It was just like, the stupas are here now, you know, they're all up. And we're all in a circle, and it's maybe 20-ish or so people with Khenpo Rinpoche's both there. And Ken Rinpoche, he's like had a hat, and he always had these hats. It's funny. He put this hat on, and he put on these sunglasses, and he like had a scarf like this, and he like totally like wrapped his face like this, and he like had his glasses on and his hat, and he was just sitting in the circle like that. It was like, and I happened to be like nearby, and I was like, "Oh, Ken Rinpoche, what are you doing?" And he said, "Ken Rinpoche is not here." That was about a month before he passed. Impermanence. These great ones can see. What are they seeing? Cause, condition, and effect. At the time, I don't know what they're seeing at all. But they can see these patterns and how it's moving and ebbing and like, right? So that's another part of the story. So then it comes to June 19, 2010. That's the day Ken Rinpoche, like, we all heard in the evening, he died. He entered Mahaparinirvana. So in terms of these Bardo contexts, this is the time for the great yogis and yoginis. True nature's coming. It's going to be revealed. Nothing can stop it. For these great ones, this is what, this is the time. This is like the celebratory moment, time to shine. So that evening, only a handful of people knew what was happening on site, but that evening, so wide. This is like the magic of reality. Like everyone spontaneously gathered for all these people there. Like not Khenpo Rinpoche's, but Ken Rinpoche was in his house, and he was in meditation, and he passed. He died and sitting up in meditation. And he's in meditation, but no one didn't know. People didn't know. People just spontaneously gathered on the front steps of the temple. It was this gorgeous sunset, and everyone was so chill. Like it was just so at ease. And it was like it was just like, this is so nice. It wasn't like so nice and talking, it was just kind of. And then the next day, Khenpo Rinpoche kind of said, gather everyone in the temple shrine room. I have to let people know, And so people gathered in the shrine room and let people know who were on site. And of course, then it's, so sad. Like the precious teacher is gone. Like all the chances of being able to ask something, say something, hear something with my ears, like that window closed. such a big loss, you know, to have these great ones, all of a sudden these living embodiments of love, compassion, and wisdom. You can't, you know, for me, it's really helpful to actually ask a question and be able to hear something. I don't have the sensitivity to like kind of tune in and kind of read kind of how Dharma can be. Dharma is constantly happening, right? Cause, condition, and effect is always happening. But anyway, so it's big loss, really big loss. So this book goes over it. Essential Journey of Life and Death, Volume 1. This event that happened a few days into Khenpo Rinpoche's Mahaparinirvana. He's sitting in meditation. It's called Tukdam, which we've talked about a little bit, the process, but not using this word. When all the gross elements of a body stop, meaning the organ system shut down, no heart, no brain. And then all the inner elements, like red, like white and red, the inner essence elements, kind of they lose their positions and they stop. And then any habitual anything is paused, it stops, loses its power to affect. And then the mind, this true nature of Bardo, opens and is revealed. That for masters who have trained all their lives to just be in the true nature, this is just like I said, like a mother and a child, like a child seeing his mother and just like instantly, mom. You know, it's just like they've trained in it. They're in the true nature. Now the true nature is happening full force, nothing blocking, no habits on. And they call that, for a great master who can be that way and stay in it, it's called tukdam, where they just stay in the true nature. They don't need a body. It's just their awareness. And their awareness is staying with their body instead of going. So there's all these indications, signs, like the heart center's warm. Like in Dr. Kame, and Khenpo Rinpoche is sitting in his bed and meditation. He knew months before, he had me fix all these boards on his bed so they wouldn't move. I mean, I didn't know these masters don't explain these things at the time. They're just doing things and help. And same bed, sitting there. He's in meditation it was like 3 days in or so. And he's just sitting there in Tukdam, body clinically dead, skin soft and limber, heart warm, like heart center warm. And his brother, Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche, was there and was reading these Dharma things to him, things that are like all the teachings of Guru Padmasambhava on how are you with someone who's passed, even great realized masters. He said, Khenpo Rinpoche shared, he read the Treasury of Dharma Dhatu by Longchenpa and read all these kind of 7-chapter prayer, these things, just in the atmosphere of it. So a few days in, then one of my brothers, Andrew, at the time he was there, because 3 days in, like people came, you know, like all these students came from around the world. And he came, and it was nighttime on this day 3, and this event, he wrote, you know, he wanted to write it, and it's here. You can read it in this book.
Summer solstice.
Summer solstice, was it?
Yes.
Wow.
Midnight.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. Ooh.
Yes.
So Andrew is like sitting outside the temple, the main temple there. It's like within earshot of the house, Ken Rinpoche and Khenpo Rinpoche's house. It's just this all like kind of, there's a temple and then their house, and but Andrew's just sitting there in meditation. So many people are there and meditating, and we kind of tried to have this smoke offering going all the time, like during Khenpo Rinpoche's Tukdam, because we were practicing every day in the shrine room with Khenpo Rinpoche. This one we're going to do this morning. This is what we were practicing for 49 days. Peaceful, Wrathful Deities. We'll do that this morning. But so day 3, we're doing that. We're having this smoke offering continually burn, just as offerings to Khenpo Rinpoche, to all these amazing Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, what they're doing, what they've done for us, you know. And so, but then my brother's just sitting there. It's kind of dark. It's getting really twilighty. And there's another Sangha member, Dara, who's like a local. She's like just walking around the temple, like going around a Kora path circumambulation and kind of making sure, tending the smoke offering, making sure it's like still burning. And Andrew's just sitting there in meditation, and all of a sudden he said it sounded like this giant stampede of wild animals was like rushing at him from the front. And he's just sitting and meditating, and all of a sudden, and he just like literally, he said he like scooted back, like he's just on the grass, and he just like scooted back. He was like so scared. And then all of a sudden there was this big noise on the west side, just big noise. And in the south there was these like big noises. And in the north, it was, and he describes it exactly, the kind of noise and what direction. Big popping noises or something. And then in the west, all these things, like all these noises, and he's just like, what, you know? And then he's just freaked out. Okay? And all of a sudden he's like, and he like stood and he saw next to the temple, Dara is just standing there frozen. She's like, she looked at Andrew, she's like, tell me you heard that. And he's like, I heard that. And like good meditators, it's an experience. Let it go. They come, they go. Come, they go. But the next day, Andrew related that to me. Drakpa, this really wild thing happened last night. I have no clue. And I said, oh, Andrew, you might really tell Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche that. It might mean something, you know. And so he, you know, when he got the opportunity, like I think later that day or next day, he told Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche, you know, this happened. And Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche was like, this is so interesting. I think I've read about something like this in the Tantras. But I'm not sure. I need to look. And so then he looked. And the next day he found this Tantra. I think it's Vajrasattva Mirror Tantra, but I have to look exactly in the name. It's in this book. And it says, in the Buddha taught in this Tantra, when a great master is in Tukdam and enters these really high levels of meditative realization, of enlightenment, these specific sounds happen in the directions around them. And it was just totally matched, this Tantra that the Buddha had taught. And so for Khenpo Rinpoche, it's just like, this is so beautiful, you know, look, like we all knew how amazing this you know, Khen Rinpoche is, but he was so humble. He would never emphasize that at all. He was so low key. But it was like really high bhumi bodhisattva realization, like these indicating these sounds. And so just these, okay, magic, dreamlike magic of beings who really pay attention to impermanence, like so much so that they don't need a body to still be in their body. Like, I mean, it's just like wild, you know? Doctors like, I don't know what this is. No, don't know what this is. Of course, these sounds are happening. Most people, I have no clue what this is. Last story. So it was about little after that day. I think it was the next day. And kind of the timing on that's a little wobbly in my mind. But all these Sangha members are at PSL. We're all gathered there. We have a Sangha house community building, and it's where we eat. And it was lunchtime. So we're all eating, it's on the deck, and it's just gorgeous, kind of, it's pretty, you know, pretty. But all of a sudden, we're all eating lunch on this deck and these picnic tables, and all of a sudden there's just this amazingly powerful hailstorm out of nowhere. It's just like, we're sitting on tables underneath this roofed deck, and it's just like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? So much so that the people on the roof deck had to move into the wall of the building. There was so much hail just pounding down. And we were like, oh, this is like something happening. Because Khen Rinpoche's in meditation, passed away, sitting in meditation. All these things are happening. So then I looked over to where it came from. It came from the west, this storm front, and I saw over this ridge, there was just this giant dark cloud. And I could see, and it was approaching the ridge, and it had just gotten to this ridge, and it hit it, and all the trees, when the storm hit this ridge, all the trees started going nuts. I could just see it. It was just like, I was like, gotta get to the Gompa. I was like a little camera guy. It's like, have a little camera, video cam, you know, those little cameras that are, the lens is like, you know, little pocket cameras, right? Feels like a long time ago now, those. Had a camera, I was like, literally, didn't look back at my lunch plate, ran. I just like booked it. I was like, I want to get up to the top of the temple to video that storm coming. So I just like booked it. It's like, get to the temple, go up to the second floor, get in the library, open the library doors, get out on the roof, like the decking on the roof so it could see out, and it was just like perfect. I had the camera, got the camera out, like hit record, it's going, and this cloud bank is just coming into this PSL meadow. That's like there's a meadow right in front of the temple and Rinpoche's house and the Sangha house. And this cloud bank, this giant mega cloud bank is just coming through, and just like everything is like thrashing around, just going nuts. And I'm like, like, you know, it's like I ran up, you know, I'm like, ran up, had the thing, it's recording, and all of a sudden, this cloud bank gets to the meadow, this giant, it's not like a little puffy white, you know, like a pretty white cloud, you know. It's like this massive cloud. All of a sudden I'm looking, like, whoa, this is, like, what is this? And all of a sudden it goes, change the batteries. And I'm like, and right that moment, that cloud bank, totally in this 40-acre meadow, this giant cloud bank twists itself and becomes the exact image of a dragon holding this Norbu, a jewel. And the dragon, it had these big horns, and its mouth was open and had these fangs, and it had a back with ridges and the spines and a tail whipped around. And it was holding this like across the meadow. The house is over here. I'm looking at the meadow. The house is over here. It's holding this Norbu, and the cloud, this dragon cloud, like this filling the meadow, 40-acre meadow, bends down and like offers this jewel to where Khenpo Rinpoche was in meditation in his house. And then he bends down, offers a jewel, and then the cloud rolls over on itself in a end. Dissolve.
Did you get any of it?
I got the beginning of the storm coming right up to before it changed. And I went, and I was like, oh my God, you know, like, and I was like, and so I was like, and I went down one floor to the main shrine room where there's all this beautiful Tibetan painting, and I look at the back wall, and it's always the four, you know, the tiger, the Garuda, the snow lion, the dragon. And I looked at the dragon, and it was like, it looked exactly like the dragon, the way it is painted there. And then I was like, I have to tell Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche this. And so I went and called, oh, Khenpo Rinpoche, yes. Like, sorry to disturb Rinpoche, it's okay. I just saw, like with the storm, like that cloud literally turned into a dragon and offered a jewel to the house, like just a second ago. And Khenpo Rinpoche's like, that's nice. Oh, just wanted you to know, Rinpoche. Thank you. For these great ones, like they've seen it all. Like this is not the samsara, nirvana, the hosts of nightmares, the range of gorgeous palaces and celestial thises and that's and amazing things. Like for them, it's all a dream. This is a dream, you know? And the way to get there is impermanence. That's the doorway. Death, dying, changing. It's the doorway to the true nature. And so here, these two things in Buddhism. On one side, it's all impermanent. Everything. And the other aspect is there's unchanging true nature. Continuity of deathless wisdom. Unborn, unceasing, by nature like the sky. It is not a thing. It is the way everything is, the absolute nature. So in Buddhism, in all these Bardo teachings, we have the deathless and the fact that everything dies. It's all impermanent, and the great Buddha, future Buddha Maitreya called it the great permanence. Great means like Khenpo. Beyond impermanence and permanence is what is unchanging, beyond any idea of change and unchange and flowing and coming and going. It's just the being of all things that appear. These are two frames we can hold and rely on for Buddhism. If we want a really well-rounded general frame, Relatively, it's all impermanent. And the absolute, there's the unchanging nature of awareness that is the source. It is the field that all this change happens inside of. The true nature Bardo. The true nature Bardo is what is. When we don't see that, when we don't see love, compassion, and wisdom in ourselves, when we don't feel it and express it and see it in others, we don't see it. It's an unseeing, this ignorance, ma rigpa. Then instantly Bardo happens. We wonder. We're looking for our true nature. This is all called Bardo. And we've gone through the Bardo of life, which is what we're in. And this is the, like as we mentioned again and again, this is the most important one. Because we can consciously choose to like turn on our love and compassion and wisdom. Like we can just take a moment and turn it on. And we're not in a super emergency something right now. And we have all these fortunate conditions. And our mind is just being in touch with itself. And it's seeing the goodness in others, the love and the compassion and wisdom of others. And it can consciously have its true nature reveal. And then in that moment, there's no such thing as a Bardo. And then we don't see that, and all of a sudden there's the whole range of Bardos. This life, until we get something that makes our body start disintegrating and dying. We die, the body dies. That moment, true nature is totally revealed, nothing blocking it. If that's too much, we're unfamiliar with that, then we start wanting to hold on to something that feels familiar, feels stable, feels like me. And that begins the next Bardo of becoming, where we're trying to have a sense of, I got this. I am this. Our vast true nature is too much, too open, too referenceless, too groundless, too unborn, too unceasing, too by nature like the sky. We want to hold on to some kind of cloud. And so then we try to get a cloud, and eventually we get one. And it's called this illusory body that we happen to be in now. This dreamlike body that we get to be in, and it's always changing. But it's like a dream body always changing. Seems like it's there, but it's not. If we look close enough, we'll find the true nature of our body, of our mind, of others, of each other, of every moment we've ever had, every memory, every emotion. We'll see it's all like a dream, like a cloud. Like a flash of lightning in the dark of night. It's all seems to be there, but we look closely and we can't really find any fixed anything. So that lack of finding, or that lack of something being there to lock into in a permanent, fixed, frozen way, not expecting that anymore, for everything to just finally stay put, not expecting that, is called freedom. Then we can just be with the dream as it happens and make a really good dream of love and compassion and wisdom for ourselves, for all the dreamlike beings. And it's always just going to be a dream. It's always going to just keep moving, this dreamlike nature. And it's always going to be inherently free, open, moving. So that's the kind of, the table is set. And we'll go to this sadhana. It's self-liberated mind. This is the same practice that we did together with Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche at PSL at that time during Khenpo Rinpoche's Tukdam Mahaparinirvana. It's this Peaceful and Wrathful Deities. And we'll start on page 23. This page 23 is like an addition to this specific terma of Guru Padmasambhava. It's the root prayer of the 6 Bardos. And so this goes through each of the 6 Bardos we've covered. Life, dreaming, meditation, dying, true nature, becoming. These 6 Bardos. And it's Karma Lingpa, this great Kirtan, revealing this teaching of Guru Rinpoche. And he's just basically giving the pithy instructions of like, what is the Bardo? What is happening with it? How to deal with it? And so that we're free from our mistaken perception of what's going on when we're in each of these 6 Bardos. So what we'll do is recite this together, and then kind of really just let the meaning kind of just hit you, like just, or you can just relax with it, be in it, like be in the space of these wisdom blessing the wisdom blessings being pointed out to us. It's really like our own nature, just like a mirror being pointed out to us. Try to just be with your nature of bodhicitta on and see for yourself. This is the truth of this in your experience as we read it. We'll read it a little slower. We can really kind of be with the meaning a little bit. And then at the end of reading these 6 bardos, we'll just pause for silent meditation for a little bit before we go to the next other practice. 23. Please share if someone needs. When the birthplace, Bardo, is dawning upon me, there's no spare time in this life. Abandoning laziness, enter undistractedly in the 3 paths of listening, reflection, and meditation. Bringing appearance and thoughts to the path, realize the nature of the 3 kayas. At this moment, where we have for once attained a human body, it is not the time to continue fooling around. When the dream Bardo is dawning upon me, abandoning carelessly and stupidly lying like a corpse, enter in the natural sphere of unwavering attentiveness, recognizing your dreams, practice transforming illusion into luminosity. Don't sleep like an animal. Do the practice which mixes sleep and reality. When the contemplation Bardo is dawning upon me, abandoning all kinds of wandering and deluded thoughts, remain in the state which has no distraction or clinging, free from all limits. Obtain firmness in both generation and accomplishment. In this moment of one-pointed meditation, abandon all activity and don't be influenced by deluded emotions. When the Bardo of the moment of death is dawning upon me, abandoning attachment and clinging desire to everything, remain in the sphere of the clear instructions. Transform the unborn self-awareness into the openness of space. When we are about to leave this body composed of flesh and blood, realize that it is impermanent and illusory. When the Bardo of intrinsic reality is dawning upon me, abandoning all terror and fear, recognize that whatever arises is the self-appearance of awareness. Realize it is the apparitions of the intermediate state. When we reach this most important turning point, don't be afraid of our self-appearance arising as the crowd of peaceful and wrathful deities. When the Bardo of rebirth is dawning upon me, holding one-pointedly to that single great wish, connect firmly with our former good karma. Closing the womb door, remember to turn away. It is the very time when courage and pure perception are needed. Avoid jealousy and visualize our parents as father, mother, guru. Never thinking death will come, we make long-term plans, busy doing useless worldly tasks. If we return empty-handed, our wishes will be wasted. We should know that the supreme Dharma is what we really need. Why don't we practice the supreme Dharma at this very moment? It was said by the gracious Lama himself, if you don't keep the Lama's instructions safely in your mind, won't you be deceiving yourself? Few minutes silent meditation. feels like a good time to mention a certain point. I heard this from Eric Pema Kunzang, a translator. He was giving teachings on some of Guru Rinpoche's Dakini teachings. And he was like doing some meditation sessions. And he said, it was really interesting, funny, but really helpful. He said, when we meditate on the true nature, when we're like really meditating, there's no need to have like put on some kind of like meditator face. He said, look alive. True nature is alive. It includes it all. All the sounds. All the sounds and the sights and the movements. The true nature is like vivid. Like our awareness is like open. Like you look at the statues of Buddha, he's like always kind of little smiling. Like he's very freshly there. Like Dzogchen, if you like talk about big things like Dzogchen, one of the qualities that's very always emphasized is freshness. It's fresh. And it's 2, relaxed. And 3, clear. Fresh, relaxed, clear. Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche talks about this in a video. If you look up his name, Dzogchen meditation on YouTube. And he doesn't say it, but it really sounds like to me, he's referring to things that Lama Chime Rinpoche, he overheard talking about with some other teachers. Fresh. Look alive. Look alive. When we were in our true nature relaxing, it's on. It's bodhicitta on. It's not, it's not dead. It's not like deadened. It's not a zombieing. It's just very fresh. I'm not saying it as if I have it. It's just like, it's a big point that can just really keep a lot of things on track. Just like fresh. And a statue he mentioned, Eric Pema Kunzang, is this statue of Buddha Maitreya. It's in Lhasa, Tibet. I can have a picture. It's nice. It might be even in the store. It's these beautiful Buddha Maitreya, the statue, and is so open and there and so calm and so bright and clear and just not, it's like all illusory. It's just like, and it's like, oh, if we want to try to like impersonate someone or something when we're meditating, look at this image. This is how we should look. So alive, so relaxed, so fresh, so clear. That's really when we're talking about true nature, our true nature on, bodhicitta on, should really like that. Okay? That's like, these are really big instructions that hold a ton of teachings in them. So, if you want to know more about these 6 lines we just recited by Karma Lingpa, that's what the first half of Rinpoche's book is about. This line-by-line commentary. This is both Ken Rinpoche and Khenpo Tsewang Rinpoche taught this in Florida. It's line-by-line commentary on this specific prayer. So they go through all the 6 Bardos. What are they? What do we do about them? How do we recognize our true nature during them? That's what half this book is, as well as some stories of Ken Rinpoche's life. And then the other half of this book, is a line-by-line commentary on the next practice we'll do, which is this Peaceful, Wrathful Deities practice. So like this is, if you want a Bardo book, this really is like an extraordinary book, because one of the amazing things that I so deeply appreciate about the Venerable Khenpo Rinpoches is they're these amazingly accomplished scholars, but the way they communicate is really straightforward, to the point, and usually very colloquial language. It's just like anyone can like hear it, and it just gets right to the point, so it's suitable for the great scholar people who want it to be exactly precise, because they're great scholars, and they just condense it into these pithy advice that you can just immediately put into practice and taste for yourself. It's in general how Rinpoche seem to teach. It's how the great Mipham Rinpoche, who Khenchen Palden Sherab Rinpoche is said to be an incarnation of Mipham Rinpoche by His Holiness Pen Rinpoche. He said that. It's how Mipham Rinpoche, he could do these very elaborate commentaries and just make it pithy instructions. It's how the great Longchenpa Could extensively teach, but also put everything into 6 lines. He has a whole treasury of pith instructions where he's like talks basically hundreds and hundreds of ways of including everything of reality in 6 lines. There's just like a million ways. This is the flexibility of wisdom awareness, where it can totally flex frame and put exactly what we need to see and not distort it at all, but make it exactly suitable for the person receiving it. It's hard to do that. It's really hard to do that for every being you're with. That's like a total, very hard to do. But the greats like Longchenpa, Khenpo Rinpoche, His Holiness Kyujin Rinpoche, it's actually what these termas all do. These teachings of Guru Padmasambhava, they all do the same thing. Take this inexhaustible amount of 84,000 teachings, and the tantras, they talk about them as the 3,400,000 Dzogchen tantras. Just infinite doorways of Dharma in these pithy ways that can be practiced in 5 minutes. We could really see for ourselves and put it into practice. So we'll go to the beginning of this sadhana. This is a practice of the peaceful and wrathful deities. So here, it's one of those interesting things of I kind of have to do some degree of always toggling with sharing things, especially things like this that are very specific, So this is peaceful, wrathful deities. This is the practice. This is specifically a training that we can do now in the Bardo of life, right now. And this is related to the Bardo of the true nature. At the beginning of the Bardo of true nature, it's just vast openness. Often just talked about as emptiness in a simple way. That emptiness is pervaded with this compassion, this love and compassion. So we have this wisdom is the first, and that's pervaded by love and compassion, an infinite field of love and compassion without boundary or limit. And then that arises as a unity, love, compassion, and wisdom to take shape or form. And that's where sound arises. And this Bardo of the true nature, that's what's happening from vast openness. It starts appearing as sound, beams, lights, and then starts taking more and more shape. And some of the shapes it takes, when they elaborate and kind of crystallize into our true nature displaying itself purely, it displays as peaceful and wrathful Buddhas. So this is a sadhana where we're training. True nature isn't just vast, open, empty awareness. True nature is... That's the big Dzogchen thing. Everything we've ever experienced has been the true nature. The sounds. We just look out and hold there, as opposed to looking in first, seeing the true nature, and then experiencing our true nature doing its stuff. So it's always been the true nature. It's the big kind of thing. In Buddhism, there was never a problem. It was always our awareness displaying. And when we don't see our awareness, it displays in all these tight, twisted, knotty ways that feel really rough. And when we see our awareness first and allow it to naturally unfold, it arises as deities, Buddhas, mantra, pure lands. That's what all this Vajrayana, vivid gorgeousness is about. These are all indications saying when we relax in our true nature and rest, we can see that we're already in Amitabha's pure land of Dewa Chen. And this sadhana is pointing towards peaceful and wrathful Buddhas, this certain phase of a Bardo, where our true nature will arise in these certain ways, innumerable ways. This is just, a tanka is just it's like a folder in a computer you click, and then all of a sudden it opens up and all these things in it, and you click another one, all these things in it. That's called emptiness. You can infinitely keep clicking the folders. They keep having more stuff in them. There's no final folder file. It just keeps going. It's called groundlessness, folderlessness, or whatever. It just keeps going. There's no ground. No final big frame either. That's why, where else this is all happening in? Guru Padmasambhava is the fingernail of his left hand. we zoom out, all of a sudden it's like, oh, we were always in like Yeshe Tsogyal, like a tip of her hair. It's magical. It's amazing. And so here, this practice is actually indicated. I have to say some things because otherwise we're just going to be talking about all these names and deities and stuff, and it's like we don't have any context. We're like, what is this? So here it's also relating to in our body, there's actually these Buddhas in realms, infinite universes of Buddhas doing Buddha activities. It's like what our physical structuring is made up of. It's not just flesh and bone and blood and organs. From a Vajrayana view, when we start with true nature and allow it to display itself purely, meaning not filtered through grabby mind, but we allow it to filter as love and compassion displays, that actually this body is all these internested universes of sacred worlds of deities doing activities now. We just don't see it. And so that's what this sadhana is saying. This is what's happening right now in the Bardo of this life. There's 58 wrathful deities in this region, and they all have all these retinues and these activities. And there's these peaceful Buddhas. There's all these peaceful Buddhas with exact form and ornaments and activities, and all in our heart center. And there's these Vidyadharas, these accomplished other Buddhas in our throat centers, and male and female and activities, and it's all just illusory dreamlike display. So when we say this sadhana, and it's like, I arise as this Buddha, Vajrasattva, and in my heart is all these 42 other Buddhas, and they're this and this and this, and this. And in my crown, or like the conch shell chamber, in my brain area, there's all these wrathful deities, and then this one, and this one, and this one. It's basically just saying, when we allow our true nature to shine, this is how it shines. And when we don't allow our true nature to shine, it just looks like a piece of wood. Or, a bad day. Or usually it's like, what's wrong with you? We like look outside and blame the thing, And it's like kind of that's the tragedy of the whole samsara thing, is like we're just not seeing clearly. And so from the Vajrayana view, the whole thing is like view first. See the true nature, be in the true nature first, and then get used to being it, and the habits that close it or shut it or turn it off, they lose their power. And then they kind of settle down, and then we see more of our nature, more of our love and our compassion, because our wisdom's on. And we start seeing like, oh, clouds can turn into dragon shapes, and like you can know about the future ahead of time because you're just tracking these patterns that before our minds were so boxy, and it has to make everything fit in my box. And that just prevents us from being in touch with so many things that are also happening, as well as what's happening in our box. So that's this for this sadhana. So this is preparing for this moment of the peaceful and wrathful deities when they arise as our nature. And like we might have saw in this movie the other night, Pig at the Crossing by Dzogchen Rinpoche, if you can find a chance to see that, if you haven't seen it, it's worth it. It's one of those things that it's like, it's a Bardo movie, and it's like really in me, like what would happen if I don't prepare kind of thing. But in that movie, this Bardo of true nature, not even mentioned at all. It's just a dude, and he didn't even practicing it at all. So he dies, and then he's instantly wandering in the Bardo of becoming. Because like for people who don't train in this, it's just flash. The true nature, on, close, all the displays, Buddha, close. What's for lunch? Where am I? Like all of a sudden these habits re-gel. So anyway, we have to get a little familiar with this if we want any kind of ability to like recognize it as it's happening. And it's happening right now, this moment, but it's also going to definitely happen when the body shuts down and we die. We have that window that we can know it's going to happen. We don't know when, but we know it will. And so this is a practice to just kind of train for it. Even at the very least, just hearing this, that it kind of plants a strong kind of seed, an openness of mind of like, maybe I could be this amazing. So page 2, we'll recite it in English, because knowing the meaning is always most important. And then additionally, reciting how it's been recited for centuries, like has a very strong impact blessing. But the meaning is always important, most important first. But so we'll do this, page 2, and I'll just call out the pages, and we don't have to rush through it. We have some time. And yeah, enjoy. Bodhicitta on, love, compassion, wisdom on. And it's just like, I'm just like telling about how my mind and heart are open and what they happen to be doing now. And like reading a line is like saying, oh, now this is happening. Now this is happening. So that's kind of how we can approach this. So page 2. Om Ahum. I supplicate the entire succession of gurus without exception, those of the thought, sign, and heard lineages of oral and treasured teachings, and of the profound Dharma of the peaceful and wrathful ones, the self-liberated mind. I pray that you grant blessing. Namo. To the rare and supreme, the three roots, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I and all beings go for refuge until enlightenment, in order to attain the state of Samantabhadra and the peaceful and wrathful ones. I give rise to the attitude of supreme enlightenment in both aspiration and application. To the Guru, Samantabhadra, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I pay homage, make offering, and confess all evil and transgressions without exception. I rejoice in virtue, exhort, and supplicate. I dedicate accumulated virtue to the enlightenment of all beings. And we'll recite that section 3 times, so back to page 3. Namo. To the rare and supreme, the three roots, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I and all beings go for refuge until enlightenment, in order to attain the state of Samantabhadra and the peaceful and wrathful ones. I give rise to the attitude of supreme enlightenment in both aspiration and application. To the Guru, Samantabhadra, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I pay homage, make offering, and confess all evil and transgressions without exception. I rejoice in virtue, exhort you, teach, supplicate you. I dedicate accumulated virtue to the enlightenment of all beings. Again. Namo. To the rare and supreme, the three roots, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I and all beings go for refuge until enlightenment, in order to attain the state of Samantabhadra and the peaceful and wrathful ones. I give rise to the attitude of supreme enlightenment in both aspiration and application. To the Guru, Samantabhadra, and the boundless, peaceful, and wrathful ones, I pay homage, make offering, and confess all evil and transgressions without exception. I rejoice in virtue, exhort you to teach, and supplicate you to remain. I dedicate accumulated virtue to the enlightenment of all beings. I'm going to take 10 seconds just to have that motivation on. Continuing. Om Ahum. In the unborn realm of Dharmadhatu, in the center of the clear blue Bindu, unimpededness, on a precious throne, lotus and moon, is the uncontrived, empty radiance of my mind, self-awareness arising as Vajrasattva. He is white and clear, with one face and 2 arms. He holds a Vajra and bell, appearance and emptiness. He wears the crown of the 5 families and the complete precious adornments of the Sambhogakaya. He is seated with legs half crossed. In his heart, above a moon, is the letter Om, surrounded by the 100 syllables. They radiate light.
which makes offerings to all the jinnas and purifies the obscurations of all beings, inform Vajrasattva. And just pause for a minute. So oneself is Buddha Vajrasattva now. It's a self-visualization. So you look like Vajrasattva, white crown, ornaments, jewelry, silks, scarves. You're a total accomplished Buddha, an awakened being. Now we'll recite our 100-syllable mantra. This is 3 times. If you don't know it, just hear it and let it circulate through you. Om Benda Sabba Samaya Manu Palaya Benda Sabba Tenopa Tishu Dinu Mepawa Siddhu. Will you give me another one of these? This is old version. Siddhu Kayo Mepawa Anuratu Mepawa Sawa Siddhi Meprayatsa Sawa Kama Sitsa Me Didam Sheyam Guru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Mame Mutsa Bendri Bhawa Maha Samaya Sato Va Om Benda Sava Samaya Manu Palaya Benda Sava Tenu Pa Tishu Dinu Pipawa Sudu Gayo Mipawa Subu Jayo Mipawa Anuratu Mipawa Sawa Siddhi Miprayata Kama Sitsame Didam Shiyam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benta Mame Munsa Bendri Bhawa Maha Samaya Sato Om Benda Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Benda Sava Tenu Pa Tishu Dinu Mepawa Sudu Kayo Mepawa Subu Jayo Mepawa Anurato Mepawa Sawa Siddhi Miprayata Sawa Kama Sitsame Sheyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benta Mame Munsa Bendri Bhawa Maha Samaya Sato Continuing. Then oneself is Vajrasattva. My heart is a precious, luminous, primordial palace in a bindu of the 5 wisdom lights, seated on a lion, an elephant, the supreme horse, a peacock, and a shang, its sun and moon, are Samantabhadra, the father and mother jinnas of the 5 families, and the 16 father and mother bodhisattvas. At the 4 gates are the 8 father and mother gatekeepers. In the 6 places are the 6 Nirmanakaya sages. Each possesses distinctive adornments and costume. They are appearance with no established nature, spontaneous appearance and emptiness, bodies of light, clear, gleaming, brilliant, blazing with majesty. The unimpeded skill of their radiance arises in the conch-like mansion, an expanse of rainbow light and masses of flames, as the 12 father and mother wrathful ones, the 8 karus, the 8 singhas, the 4 gatekeepers, and the 28 ishvaris. Wrathful and fierce, they possess the 9 moods of dance, and all the greatly glorious and charnel ground adornments. Clear yet empty, they abide as bodies of light in the Sambhoga chakra of the throat. In the center of an expanse of swirling rainbow light are the 10 father and mother Vidyadharas, surrounded by assemblies of viras and dakinis, clear, gleaming, and radiant. Further, in the nadis and the dhatus of my body are assemblies of deities of the three roots, together with countless viras and varinis, like an open sesame pod, abiding in great primordial spontaneity. In that way, the peaceful and wrathful deities have abided from the beginning, in co-emergence, inseparable from me. As I recognize that these pure deities are my own appearance, they become clear in the manner of their own uncontrived radiance. This is the mantra of all these deities all together, and we'll recite them. As we recite the mantra, all these deities, 58 deities in this area of Vajrasattva's head, our head, the 10 Vidyadharas in our throat, the 42 peaceful and wrathful Buddhas in our heart center, they're all, these are their syllables. They're all fully on doing activities. We're Vajrasattva, and these deities of mandalas of pure Buddhas are all doing their activities, emanating lights throughout all of time and space to support and encourage and nourish every single being with love and compassion and wisdom. Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datua Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo. Continuing. In the hearts of the deities, on moons and suns, are the clear individual seeds, surrounded in the peaceful ones by the Bodhi mantra, and in the wrathful ones by the Rulu mantra. Each proclaims as speech the sound of the mantra. Rays of light emanating upwards make offerings to the jinnas, exhorting their commitment in collecting siddhi. Those emanating downwards purify the evil and obscurations of beings. They all become and form the peaceful and wrathful ones. The phenomenal world is filled with the proclamation of mantric sound. Externally, the universe is the pure realm of the deities. Internally, the contents become gods and goddesses. Sound and speech are of the mantra's nature. Memory and thought are the play of Dharmata. I remain uncontrived, effortless, and undistracted in the state of self-clarity. Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tuam Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tuam Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tuam Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo. Now go at your own pace. Everyone in the room is Vajrasattva. Within everyone are these mandalas of peaceful and wrathful Buddhas. Every single being in the whole universe is a Buddha. All the things you hear is a mantra, pure sound. Every movement of your mind is just enlightened wisdom shining on. So everything is pure body, pure speech, pure mind, deity, mantra, dharmakaya, including all of your dharma brother and sisters right now. We're all Buddhas doing Buddha activities in these infinite variety of ways. So just recite the mantra, enjoy, relax, let your love and compassion just flow out as you just say the mantra to yourself. Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Datuva Om Rulu Rulu Hunjo Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha
Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tattva Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tattva Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo Hum Om Ahum Bodhisatta Mahasukha Jana Tattva Om Rulu Rulu Hum Jo. Now we'll continue to next page. We're reciting the Sanskrit vowels and consonants as well as the Vajrasattva mantra and also dependent origination mantra. This purifies our body, speech, and mind. So it purifies our visualization of the deity, our mantra recitation of the mantra, and our awareness of kind of wisdom awareness or our true nature of Dharmakaya. So that's what we'll recite these all together 3 times. Om a I U ri ri di di e o a ka na ja na ta na pa ma yara lawa saka ja Om Benda Samba Samaya Manu Balaya Benda Samba Tenupa Tishu Dinu Mipawa Tisu Kayo Mipawa Surbu Chayo Mipawa Anurato Mipawa Sawa Siddhi Miprayata Sawa Kama Sutsame Siddham Chayam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benza Mame Mutsa Vendri Bawa Maha Samaya Sadova Om Mena Savat Om Ye Dhamma Hetu Bhava Wahetu Deshan Tata Gato Hayu Vadante Shanjayo Niroda Ewan Wadi Maha Shramana Yesoha. Repeat. Om A I U Ri Ri Di Di E O A Ka Na Ja Na Da Na Pa Ma Yara Dhawa Saka Sahaja Om Era Sava Samaya Manu Balaya Tenuba Dinu Me Bawa Zubu Gayo Me Bawa Subu Jayo Me Bawa Anurato Me Bawa Sawa Siddhi Me Prayata Sawa Kama Sutsame Siddham Chayam Guru Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Benza Mame Mensa Bendri Bawa Maha Samaya Tatoa Om Ye Dhamma Hetu Bhava Hetu Deshan Tada Gado Vayu Adate Shanjayo Niroda Ewan Wade Ma Shamana Yesoa Om A I U Ri Ri Di E O A Ka na da na pa ma yara lawa saka sahaja Om Benda Samba Samaya Manu Balaya Benda Samba Tenuba Diju Dinu Mi Bawa Sudu Kayo Mi Bawa Subu Chayo Mi Bawa Anurado mi pawa zawa sidi mi prayansa zawa kama sidzame Sheyam Guru Om Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sama Tata Gata Benda Mame Menta Bendri Bhawa Mahasamaya Sato Om Ye Dama Hetu Bhava Hetu Tejan Tata Gato Hayo Adanti Chanjayo Niroda Evam Walema Shramana Yesoha. Now we're continuing, and we're entering the completion stage, or the dissolution stage, where we're totally allowing the rainbow of our experience to just dissolve itself. All phenomena appear as the mandala of the peaceful and wrathful deities. These deities dissolve as a rainbow in the sky. Relax the mind in the natural state, which is the union of appearance and emptiness, free from complexities. All sounds are the speech of the wrathful and peaceful deities. This emptiness sound dissolves as the dragon's voice of thunder disappears in the sky. Meditate within the inexpressible sound of emptiness. All thoughts are the arising wisdom of the peaceful and wrathful deities. At the moment these thoughts arise, they are liberated as clouds fade away in the sky. Meditate within the unborn wisdom of Buddha, the Dharmakaya, pure from the beginning, the great emptiness. Brief silent meditation. Continuing. Om. May there be the auspiciousness of the Dharmakaya, empty and egoless. Ah. May there be the auspiciousness of the Sambhogakaya, clear and unimpeded. Om. May there be the auspiciousness of the Nirmanakaya, a continual flow of compassion. As ground auspiciousness, may one's own mind be tamed. As path auspiciousness, may the minds of others be trained. As fruition auspiciousness, may the basis be brought to maturity. Namo. Through this virtue of threefold complete purity, may all beings without exception in the three realms of samsara quickly attain the fruit which is the three kayas. May this be to the glory of all sentient beings. So now we'll do just a few additional dedication prayers to conclude our session. It's going back to the book we started in, Daily Prayers, the Treasury of Precious Prayers, page 158. And the first few are all in Tibetan, and then we'll do a handful of them in English. Namo Guru Hojen Sanje Nino Repazin Dujam Sanje Pema Shepasho Layan Duje Gondu Nujonte Kolo Sumje Nam Tatem Paso Garira We Gowe Linkam Su Dewa Manu Juene Chireze Wanten Zen Jatso Yin Shabe Gaje Vadu Tenjoshi Kocho Sasum Deche Kundupa Wandra Grixin Bemejin Lapchi Tenzin Yeshe Doje Kuzeten Tenro Dojin Daru Zempasho Om Swasti Vitsayantu Josum Zazum Jidu Bemajun Nine Sodem Dujidu Jinji Kenshin Baden Sherab Tubeku Kudzeda Jinze Zantajin Sho Om Swasti Sewang Ringzin Pemejin Lapchi Duni Drupe Lasan Ordena Sherun Golo Sunji Pachote Sanchen Nantam Chole Nam Jasho. By this merit may all obtain omniscience, may it defeat the enemy wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of samsara, may I free all beings. May the sole source of benefit and happiness, the Buddha's teachings, remain for a long time. And may the victory banner of the lives of the noble ones, the holders of the teachings, remain firm. May all the temples and monasteries, all the readings and recitations of Dharma flourish. May the Sangha always be in harmony, and may our aspirations be achieved. The sole remedy for the suffering of beings, the source of every joy, is the teaching. May it remain honorably upheld and flourish for a long time. May all the numberless beings who are sick be quickly freed from sickness. May all the afflictions of beings never again arise. May all beings always be joyful. May all births into the lower realms cease forever. May the wishes of all the bodhisattvas and all the bhumis swiftly reach fruition. At this very moment, for the peoples and nations of the earth, may not even the names disease, famine, war, and suffering be heard, but rather may pure conduct, merit, wealth, and prosperity increase.
and may supreme good fortune and well-being always arise. The precious bodhicitta, those without it, may it be generated, and those who have it, may it never diminish, but always continue increasing. 170 at the bottom, 170. May the great tradition of Khenpo Shankarakshita, Lopan of Padmasambhava, and Dharma King Tritsun Detsun increase and spread throughout the three-realm world. May the appearance of the three jewels and the mind streams of beings remain inseparable and bring sublime well-being throughout the three times. Deity, mantra, the Dharmakaya are the nature of appearance, sound, and awareness, the pervasive kaya and wisdom display of the Buddhas. May practitioners of the profound and secret great perfection remain inseparable from the innermost one-taste awareness of wisdom mind. Thank you, Dharma family. Thank you. So lovely to be with you all. Very much so. Yeah. So we'll just have a lunch break. For people who want to, there's this local restaurant, it's Vu, right? Vui, sorry, Vui's. So either a walk or drive or whatever, but we'll have a little lunch gap. And then the next session in here is at 2:30. And it's 2:30 to 3:30, so for an hour, we'll just go over some, I don't know, pithy takeaway points. Some of them will be soft and sweet. Some of them maybe not so much. We'll see. But a lot of them are just soft and sweet. And then, let's see, right after that, we'll have a little break and then a soak. The soak will be from 3:45 to 5. And so that'll be a Guru Rinpoche practice, Guru Padmasambhava meditation together. It'll be pretty short and sweet. And then we'll have a little offering, food offering, and then that'll be the dreamlike weekend will be dissolved. So next session in here is 2:30. Thanks, friends.